be a little bit, let me be very clear. At the basis of all of this, it's about control over their child by two crazy parents that have actually been abusing that child now for going on 50 years. But let me tell you about Mimi. About the last day that our family was together. I think it was a Monday morning. It was definitely a morning because we were getting ready for school. Dad was getting ready for work. Mom was doing her thing. And Mimi is our cat. The second Mimi, actually. There was an original Mimi when my mom and dad got originally married. And beautiful cat. Beautiful. And Mimi, our Mimi, was beautiful too. But whatever had happened, I guess my dad had planted some planters in the house. So we like to have plants in the house. He loves plants and things like that. I do too. But anyway, Mimi had got into some of the plants and was digging up the soil and chewing some of the leaves. And so my dad was having a fit, chasing Mimi around the house. It's a 2-story house. He was going up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs. And he'd come down the stairs, chasing the cat around, talking about how the cat was going to kill itself by eating the leaves. And so he's chasing the cat around like bloody murder. And because I guess he wants to tell the cat to not eat the leaves. But the thing is like, I mean, he was just stomping, not stomping, he was running through the house. So he comes down the stairs. I'm in the living room section, almost near the kitchen. And I tell my dad, I'm like, hey, Dad, the plants aren't going to kill Mimi. You're going to kill me. And he grabs me by my neck, lifts me up into the air. He moves me back a foot or two, and that's where my mom was in the kitchen. The kitchen was next to, I guess there's the living room where there's the TV. There was the living room where there's the JVC audio system. He's got me by the neck off the ground, and she steps in, tries to separate us. You know, for me, with the whole ordeal occurring and then losing Mimi was such a, was really traumatic. For my mother, I don't think she really cared. You have to understand, I haven't elaborated much here, but with other people, my mother was always using me as the tool to get what she needed. That's what she was doing with me. I'm her son. Don't be fooled, I am her son. But for her, what that means is that I am there for her. I always thought it was a balanced situation. And when I say this to you, you have to understand, we've had adult-like conversations up until the point I was 10, before all this went down, because she kept promising me that she was going to do something to help the relationship between me and my dad. Which was interesting because I never really wanted to be away from my dad, even up to today, especially up to today with these two. I still love him to death, actually, but sure, I want to punch my dad in the face. And my mom is, yeah, I love her. Why wouldn't I love them? But they are very dangerous people. It is so apparent what they've done, how they've touched the people that they've touched, and had them touch other people in a manner that is just absolutely mind-boggling. Mind-boggling because without having vetted any of this information, how is it that some of those organizations have decided to... Anyway, I'm going to break into that on my own, but I just wanted to make it really plain and simple. That the separation of Mimi from the family was simply a tool for my mother and my family, actually. It didn't fucking matter to her. It was just, that was the event that she needed so she could part ways with my father. And most likely that's the day that he actually created permanent damage in my spinal a bunch of bad people really stupid and really crazy things, but it doesn't matter because you tell somebody something very, there are things you can say to a person that makes them not want to listen to another person at all. And that's what's going on here. It's a huge deal. Not just that, all the corruption and, all the corruption. Absolute corruption. Through the churches, through and not just that, breaking of trust. I mean, you're going to go behind my back to talk to the friends that I introduced you to, give you their numbers to, and are open about that. Every friend. The people that I used to sell, me drugs or sell drugs to me or whatever back in the days, all talked to my mother for sure, not necessarily my father. But in Salinas, he knew everyone that I was connected with, my father. So that was the last day our family was together. My father was attacking Mimi the cat. I stepped in the middle of it and told him he needed to stop chasing the cat because he was going to actually hurt the cat. He could have just waited for later and did some things if he needed to with the cat and the plants. But he was pissed off and upset, and he was acting the way that he always does, and in the way that sometimes I act like, and it makes me very unhappy when I act like that. But I can and I do, and it's not that I'm working on. But Mimi, and the story of Mimi, and especially what happened in that house, is going to be very instrumental, most especially what it is that my father has done through the intelligence community to shut down records from that time. Because there are records that are shut down. Because I cannot get a hold of any of them even though they're my records. There's something very strange going on. It's been happening for a long time. And so for everyone who says, oh, he said this, he said that, well, just understand. If you were any part of this stupid campaign, we're going to find out if Jason's a liar. Well, as soon as I know that you ain't being honest with me, I ain't got a shit reason to be honest with you. Not a lick. So just remember, and this is before the fire, when the business was being destroyed, when my house was burglarized, when I was being threatened by Carmen, I was already before that trying to figure out what the hell's going on with my family. I was calling people up and asking them if they talked to my mother because it sounds like my mother's going senile or something. What kind of things she's saying to me. There's text to prove all that. But this thing about about Mimi and this thing about a trade, well, I don't think they understand that it's going to stack up against them, not against me. There's all kinds of shit stacked up, right? So it's what they do. They put all kinds of shit in your way, expect you to try to get through it. When I say this, we're talking about the law and their really faulty, systematic ways of dealing with these kind of things. But the thing is I really don't care about how they do it. When I say that, I'm not saying that I don't care about how they do it. I don't care about how they do it now. It's obviously a broken system. Nothing is being enacted and worked on the way that it should be. And the court systems are simply a set of wheels that have to keep turning, and they'll do anything to keep those wheels turning rather than make sure that there's actually true justice being served in these courts. So I'm going to make sure to highlight all of that. But most importantly, what these two, and I love them, but they're fucking psychos. And my sister is trapped between them because she always has been. That's just been the usual routine. And I hope that she's doing well with Dexter and everything else. But from what they told me, that's another set of information that I'll share with you. Either they are a bunch of complete fucking liars, but nonetheless, it doesn't really matter. They are complete liars. It really doesn't matter. I don't wish any harm on Tatum or Dexter or any one of them. Mom or dad, sure, I want to punch my dad in the face. Nothing big there. It's not the first man to want to do that. It's not the first father to deserve it either. I probably deserve a punch or two, or 100 of them from someone I haven't been able to have any contact with, regardless of anything I've done. But I must admit that I've kept my distance for very important reasons. But of course, as I speak about Mimi and as I speak about Atreyu, you can be guaranteed that my parents and my family, the ones that have put this false narrative into motion and recruited and campaigned since at least 2006, well, it'll all come to light. Let me end it here. The thing is like, if you think that my mother doesn't have a problem with father, don't give a shit about separating the cat from the family. And when I say that's not what the important part is. The important part is the way that my mother used the event for her own means. That this model is being followed with Atreyu, and it's already been the intrusion, because I told my parents, I told my mother specifically that no matter what, without me being in the middle of it, I do not okay any contact with Austin, because he's my son, and even though y'all may be my family, it doesn't matter. You guys are fucking crazy. I love them, but they are out of their freaking minds. That's it. There's so many patterns, and when I say patterns, like, they all are like, oh my goodness. Very interesting. Very painful. Very interesting, and I look forward to breaking it all up. We don't live on frontier justice, people. We're in America. Things are bad enough. They don't start acting right with the cops and our legal system and these fucking FBI and crazy motherfuckers. When I say crazy FBI, I called. They fucking hung up, cursed me out and hung up on me. The FBI. That's what happened. Alright, let me let this go for now. I think my family is like, kind of like family annihilators. I mean, they're not killing me in a sense, even though they are. They're killing each other, but they are willing to... They're willing to do bad stuff for their own means. That's really the crux of it all. And my father has completely abused his military service and the connections that he has to be a really, really bad man. I never really thought my dad was this bad. I thought he was pretty bad, and I thought it was my mom who was triggering him, which that's the truth, that is what's happening. But I kind of always saw him as a victim, actually, regardless of how he acted. Grandpa was violent. Alright, let me just end this right here. What it's about is the crux, the basis, the impetus and all the energy and where it was coming from and who it was coming from to begin this campaign of absolute bullshit, which is so obvious, but maybe not to each individual that assisted, but when they understand the others that are involved, because a lot of these people know each other, and some of them are working with each other, I think it's going to become more apparent that it's going to become more apparent that what I've been doing these past years has worked. We'll just leave it at that.